I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, AfterBuzzers! Welcome back to the Baker and the Beauty After Show, Episode 3. I'm your host, Chelsea Overrocker, and I'm joined with a full panel today. We have Zach Weinberg.
Hello, everybody. How are you, Chelsea?
I'm doing great. You always look so good with your hat, and you have your drink right next to you, so you're rocking it.
I'm going to be wearing this fedora all season long.
I love it. It's perfect. And then we have in yellow today, Haley Matthews.
Hey, you're wearing pink today.
I know, I switched it up. I'm doing pink. And then last but not least, we have Amir Yaz.
Hi, y'all.
Hi. And Amir here is also in our chat room. So if you'd like to join in, simply go to AfterBuzzTV.com, select our after show, and join on in. For today, we are going to be talking about Noah and Daniel in Puerto Rico together and their relationship escalating. And then Natalie and Amy getting closer. Their relationship is revolving, which I'm loving. And then Vanessa booking a gig for Mateo. I like them two together, so I cannot wait to get into that topic. That's going to lead us into news and gossip with Zach. And he has some info with Natalie Kelly, who plays Noah, and David, who plays Mateo, on the live feed they did together this past weekend. So I can't wait to hear some of the comments they had. And today, you guys, we have a special guest star joining us, Michelle Ventimiglia, who plays Vanessa. She's going to be joining us after we do the recap. I know. So if you're in the chat room and you have any questions, let us know, and then we will go ahead and ask her. So I cannot wait. But let's go ahead and get into this episode. What were your guys' overall thoughts?
It was good. I definitely feel like we saw a lot of the relationships progressing. I thought some of the parts in Puerto Rico were a little cheesy, like when Daniel planned the whole party, like fixed it. It was just so cheesy. But otherwise, I feel like it was so good to just see a lot of the relationships progress, and they're all progressing at different levels, which was interesting.
Good point.
I agree with Zach. I think that there were moments that it was a little cringy. I was like, oh, come on, Daniel. Like, you don't need to do this much. Because, like, I feel like everyone in her life does these grand gestures, and she's looking for just a normal guy. And someone that's just going to get her flowers from the bodega. Like, she wants someone that's just, like, chill. And he's kind of, like, overdoing it. But I did like that Colin was trying to get in between them and was really at no avail. I mean, he's the most gorgeous, desperate man I've ever seen. So he just kept trying, and he kept saying, oh, you know, we did this movie and I was trying to make her, like, just trying so hard to make it seem like he was still in the fold. And then Jackie Vega said, I love last night's episode. She's in the live chat. So thank you for watching, Jackie.
Thank you.
I agree with what everybody said. I really liked the progression of the relationships as well. One thing that I totally forgot, I forgot how good looking her ex-boyfriend was. He's fine.
Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I forgot his face. But other than that,
okay. We've seen hotter.
I did not forget his face. I was waiting for them to show more Colin. And I liked how Daniel confronted Colin and basically called him out.
Yeah.
And that is the part where I like Noah and Daniel together, because it just shows that Daniel really does care for Noah, and it's not just because of the fame. And I like the fact that he goes ahead and supports her dreams, even if it causes her to work with her ex, which I thought that was actually really cool.
Yeah, I have thoughts on that. So whenever we're ready to get into it, I will definitely share my opinion.
All right, well, let's get into it now. Let's start with our first topic. All right, so Noah and Daniel in Puerto Rico together. I like the fact where they show kind of not the glamorous side of being a celebrity. You know, you're in Puerto Rico and you're thinking, oh, they get to be at the beach, they get to have this fun. But no, I mean, she has to do all these press interviews. And even her friend pointed out saying, yeah, there's going to be people here that are wanting her to succeed or wanting her to fail. And each person that's interviewing her is asking basically the same questions, and she has to spin it a different way each time. And I thought that was kind of cool, because for us in the business, this is something that we go through too when we have to interview as well. So I thought that was kind of cool if they shed light on that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely look at behind the scenes of what it's like being a celebrity, getting interviewed, you know, people asking the same questions over and over again. And I think we really saw Daniel just be so supportive of Noah throughout the whole episode. He was just there watching her, just waiting until Lewis, the manager, gave him a couple hours so he can kind of take her around Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Which I thought was sweet. I thought it was very sweet. But one thing that we had talked about in the last episode was the fact that paparazzi were nowhere to be found. Yeah. And there was a lot of people online that were saying that as well. They were like, where are the paparazzi if she's that famous? And they finally got caught, you know, kissing or whatever. And it seems like the fact is, like, them getting caught is going to affect Daniel's life a lot more negatively than Noah. Because Noah is a celebrity. She's used to being photographed. But this could affect Daniel's, like, legitimacy as a business owner, like, at the bakery. I don't know, like, this is, like, if she is done with him, that could really affect his life because he's just known as Noah's ex now. Mm-hmm. So I just worry about him a little bit because I really like Daniel. I don't know.
Yeah. Me too.
Do you think that'll benefit the bakery though?
Yeah.
No, it'll benefit the bakery, but I'm saying Daniel as a person on his own, like, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like, whenever you, like, date a celebrity, like, let's say you dated Lindsay Lohan and then she breaks up with you, like, you're always going to be Lindsay Lohan's ex. Like, you're never going to really be your own person. So, I don't know. I just really like Daniel, even though he's a fictional character. I just, like, I don't know. He's so nice, and I don't want her, like, lifestyle to kind of ruin him. Like, I don't want him to be a douche. You know what I mean?
Him to turn into Pete Davidson.
Exactly. Yeah. Even though I like Pete Davidson, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, to bounce off of that. Oh, sorry, Zach.
Yeah, Daniel's life will definitely be changed when he comes back from Miami because he got those paparazzi. And I was surprised they didn't get any paparazzi when they spent the entire day together in Puerto Rico, like that whole afternoon. It just so happened that at night, everyone, you know, catches these pictures. I'm happy that they caught these pictures because they were not as obvious about sneaking out of that party as they wanted to be. Like, they could not wait. And, you know, they definitely got it in. I'm just saying it.
Well, bouncing off what you said, Amir, was they might shed some negativity on Daniel because he did, when Vanessa proposed to him, that was filmed. And I don't know if the paparazzi are putting two and two together. So when they do, that could be a negative part with Daniel as well, because they could be like this guy that dumps this girl in front of all the cameras and she's putting herself out there. So that could be another thing that they could spin it as well.
I totally forgot about that. That's such a good point. He's viral.
Exactly.
He'd be a clout chaser for all they think.
Right. So
sure. Daniel's gonna have to get used to being in the public eye because after those pictures were taken, like, that's going everywhere. Like, Daniel is now a celebrity.
He is. And one thing though I like about him is he's seeing kind of the negative side, a little bit of the business, where Colin is only using Noah's dream to get closer to her. But I like that he is saying, you know, still follow your dreams. If you want to do this, do this. And I thought that was really cool for him to say that because I don't think most people, especially, you know, when you compare Daniel to Colin, you know, Colin has this huge fan base. And, you know, he has this relationship with Noah that everyone knows about. Daniel still feels comfortable in his own skin to say, hey, still follow what you want to do. And I thought that was a cool part of the show that they brought into it.
For
sure.
It
shows that he's not a jealous human being.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. He's definitely not jealous. He knows who he is. He has his own family, life, and career. I think we saw it in an episode before where he told Piper, he was like, I have my own life. Like, what's really cool is that even though Noah has this huge superstardom life, Daniel still has his own thing going on. So it doesn't really matter that she's super famous.
Exactly. And then also too, I like how Noah is figuring out, thinking, well, yes, acting has always been a dream of mine, but I don't feel like I'm getting this gig the right way. Like, I don't feel like I've earned it. So I like at the end of the episode where she tells Colin, I'm not taking this. Enjoy the party, enjoy the food, but this is not a way for you to get me back into your life. So that was really good on her part. And I liked her. Oh yeah, me too. That's why I'm really starting to like her as a character. And it's just not because of the fame or the money. I think we really got to see a different side of her in this episode, which is something I liked.
For sure.
And then with Colin and Daniel, loved how Daniel stood up to Colin, saying, Noah told you to break it off and you guys didn't. You're using her dream for a selfish reason. And then she asked Colin to not come to the event, but still he came. So he doesn't respect her. And I liked how Daniel calls Colin out for that.
Oh, I have something about that. Do we think the manager called him?
And I predicted this in the first episode. I think the manager and Colin are still working together behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm sad we lost Amir because he's like the publicist, so he knows all about this. But for sure, I loved how Noah said no, because if she took that acting gig with her favorite actress, Melanie Kahn, then it's almost like the experience would have been tainted because Colin would have been there. It's like, you don't want to wait your whole life to do something and have it be tainted. Like, you might as well just wait a little bit longer. So I love that Noah really opened up to Daniel. Like, he's seeing a different side of her, and their relationship there is really developing. I mean, they're giddy all about each other. I love it.
I know, because I know we've been on the fence a little bit, thinking, okay, do we like the relationship between Daniel and Noah? But I personally do. I know there's more to it than just the fame and the good stuff to it. They also talk about the negative stuff with it. And I liked how Daniel still stands up for Noah, especially to Colin. And he doesn't care about who he is. He cares for Noah. He loves Noah. Well, doesn't love. I think he kind of started.
I know, they're in love
with Noah. Yeah.
They're in love. Oh my
yet.
Gosh. They just met a week ago.
They haven't said it yet. That's why I put the brakes on. But
when Daniel met the guy with the chef, Keven chef or whatever, and he mentioned the word love, and then there was that whole moment and they looked at each other. They are so in love with each other so hard, so fast. I mean, like, I honestly, a prediction, I think that Daniel might propose to her in the season finale, the last episode.
Oh my God.
That would be interesting.
That stresses me out. Oh my God.
Haley's like, no, we got to put the brakes on this. No, I'm with you, Zach. I think they are falling for each other, and this episode really does prove it. I forgot about that moment when they were checking out the food with the baker and everything. So I thought that was cool. But yeah, and then at the end of it, the paparazzi takes pictures of them, and they were not being careful at all.
They were slamming each other on walls.
So honestly, forgive me, but they were so horny. Like, they were just ready to get to the hotel room.
No, I was like, aren't you guys wanting to at least keep a little bit of a cover? So I do think it's definitely going to go down a negative spiral. And what Amir said too, I think it is going to kind of affect Daniel and his family. So it would be a good plot. But that was basically, one thing I want to bring up is I loved how humbled Noah is, because when the water main burst and their original gala got ruined, I loved how she jumped in and she was helping them put the gala together, because I feel like some celebrities would be like, look, you guys take care of this. I got to get ready. And even her manager said, okay, we got everything done. We have 20 minutes. Let's go. Let's get going. And she stepped in. I thought that was really cool to see that part of Noah's character.
Totally. Like, she might be a celebrity, but she's still such a down-to-earth person. And I think we really got to know her when she was talking to Daniel about her family life. One thing I wrote down is that she said to Daniel, she was like, I had a mom sometimes and a dad almost never.
Yes.
So what do you think, Haley?
I want to meet the dad so bad. It's ridiculous.
I cannot wait till he comes. It's gonna be really good.
I also want to see more of the mom, because I'm a really big fan of that actress. And she's amazing.
Amir
so cool.
is back.
Oh, there's Amir.
He's back. Technological issues, but I just quickly wanted to read. Hopefully, I'm not interrupting. We have a lot of comments in the chat, so I just kind of want to give people some due. Ellen Hainwright is saying the mom really annoyed me with Natalie, like, leave her alone. And Ellen is from Australia, so thanks for being here with us. And then Dr. Daniel Scott said Mateo needs to mature up in order for him and Vanessa to work, which I agree with. I think that.
Oh my God.
Well, we didn't get into Mateo and Vanessa, but let's get into it.
Yeah, well, quickly before we do, the chat is ahead. Quickly too, before we jump topics, with Noah and Daniel, I think you guys are right. The father does have reservations about Noah. So the family's all for it, but the dad is.
Noah's dad won't like Daniel. I think.
Oh, you think so? You think so? Yeah, yeah. Because we haven't met him yet.
He doesn't come from money.
But either with Daniel's dad, he might not like Noah. We'll see next episode when Noah goes to meet the family, which I'm so excited for.
Me
Can't
too.
wait for that. I'm thinking, you know what, guys? I'm thinking that Noah's dad is actually going to like Daniel because he's not after the money. Like he's like in a way like that. And then I think that's what I think, but I could be wrong. And then maybe that's going to affect Noah and Daniel's relationship because Noah's going to be like, my dad is awful. Like, don't like him. Like, he's not a good guy, you know? Like, maybe that's going to be their struggle.
Very much opposite from Colin.
Very opposite.
No, it's definitely going to be a very good topic to get into. But before we get into our next topic, Amir, we have a message we'd like to send out to all our fans.
Of course. Thank you for being here during quarantine with AfterBuzz. We are the ESPN of TV Talk. We cover pretty much every show on TV, but we are so excited to cover Beauty and the Baker. I love the show. And please go like, subscribe, and comment on our channel and give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And I quickly want to give a shout out to our last week's episode. We had a lot of love for Zach. So Alexandra Jane said, Zach, so cute with your orange drink and hat. So everyone's loving Zach, which I think is super cute.
James is my friend. So, but
it doesn't matter. It's still nice.
Hey, that's a good friend. That's a good friend.
I have a red drink. So every week will be a different drink color.
Oh, there you go. I love that. And then Antonio Z said, wow, love this channel. And then Tia Diaz said he's breaking bro code if he does date Vanessa, speaking about Mateo. And then one last, Prince Caleb, who is in the live chat right now. I'm glad the panel agrees that Vanessa was good in this episode. She has been made to be a villain and a psycho ex-girlfriend. Dan and Noah have no connection.
Really?
So we'll have to wait and see if their chemistry builds up a bit.
Okay, that's interesting what the chat says about that. Well, I know one fan touched on Natalie, Amy, and her mom, and that's our next topic that we're going to get into. So I love how this is evolving with their relationship. And would you, first of all, be pissed if your mom took your phone and then texted someone that you were interested in and invited them to dinner?
Well, to be fair, the mom did not know. She still doesn't know that they might be interested in each other. She just kind of thought it was a friend. But like, no, if my mom touched my phone, I would be pissed.
My mom did this to me in middle school and I'm not over it. Oh my God.
Oh, no.
She's very involved, Natalie's mom. Which I guess I understand, like they're a very, very close family, but she needs to give Natalie a little
Inviting the girl over though, that's all.
She didn't know though. She thought it was a friend.
Even that, don't
do that.
I was more mad that she interrupted them because they were about to kiss, and then Natalie got all nervous and sent Amy home. Basically, like they could have kissed and had a moment.
I think that would have been her first kiss because I take everything I said back previously because the way she closed her eyes way before she was like, girl, that's not what you do, but okay.
She definitely seemed nervous. And I think that Amy, we're gonna have the actress Maddie on the episode in 2 weeks. So I'm excited to talk to her and get kind of the deeper notes of all of that. But I think the fact is the character of Amy is there to kind of lead Natalie and is kind of like a mentor and a possible friend or maybe relationship. We don't quite know yet. But I like that character for Natalie. I think she needs someone to help her. And like Haley said, she closed her eyes way before the kiss. So I just feel like Natalie, like their family is so enmeshed and they're all like a fishing net. They're all tied together. So it's like Natalie is the one that's going to cut off her parents and kind of have her own life. So I'm kind of rooting for her.
Yeah. Also, she is so funny. The comedic timing that she has is great. When she fell on the ground, I was like, girl, you don't have to do all of that.
No.
She did not want her
just back away from her.
To kiss her. Because she's clearly not out to her parents, but she's obviously out to Mateo because Mateo wanting to give her advice, which is Mateo's such a good older brother.
He's so funny.
And I love how Mateo said, even though I'm caught up with my own life, I still see what's going on. So we predicted that he kind of knew what was going on with Natalie, and I love how he's being a great older brother to her and help guiding her. And I love their relationship together as a brother and sister.
Absolutely. It's a really sweet relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think when So Natalie was about to kiss Amy, and even when the mom interrupted, but the mom, when she closed the door and then they had alone time again, she basically like kind of sent Amy home. She could have still could have had a thing with Amy. She got so nervous.
But she's a teenage, like she wants it to be perfect. Like she really, it's her first kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give her a break. The poor thing is trying. And then Ellen Hainwright said, it also annoyed me that the mom was like, why isn't she talking to me? I wonder why, in all caps.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see when Natalie opens up with her mom. I think that's going to be a very interesting topic and storyline. And I don't know how her mom's going to react. It could go either both ways. She could be, thank you so much for letting me into your life, because I think that's what Natalie's mom really wants, is just to be there for her daughter. Or she could be shocked. So we'll see which way the storyline swings.
Hopefully
But
she's supportive.
I hope she's for her. Because I feel like Natalie's
I think
mom.
the dad may kind of know.
You think so?
Because he kind of gave me a vibe that the mom, like, leave them alone, like, let them kind of do their thing.
Yeah.
Because he could tell that she was really nervous.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm rooting for them though, Amy and Natalie as a couple, so I cannot wait to see where the story takes them. But another couple I'm kind of rooting for is Vanessa and Mateo. I like them.
Yeah.
And it's definitely happening. I mean, it's just gonna happen a little bit slower than the other couples, but it's definitely happening.
If it doesn't happen, I will riot. I swear I will.
Haley, we'll give the options for season 2. But I like how Vanessa was helping him book a gig. And one thing with Vanessa, she's good at her job. And she knows it. And she's also good at helping other people. And I love the maturity side of Vanessa. Because even though Daniel broke up with her and they still haven't had that conversation one-on-one yet, she's still there trying to help his family out. And I like how she brought a point up saying, we've known each other, Mateo, you and I, for 4 years. So no matter what happens between Daniel and I still want to be there for you. And I thought that was a really cool side of her.
This episode really showed us that she is that girl. She could honestly be a real estate mogul in like a couple of years. Her clientele, the houses she's like selling, I don't like how like they make her out to be kind of like a little bit below Noah, because she could easily in a couple of years be rich.
For sure. I mean, we saw a totally different side of Vanessa this episode. I feel like the last few episodes, it was really just her kind of like harping on the breakup with Daniel. But this episode, we see her be a boss bitch. Yeah. And she was taking charge, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Good for you, Amir.
Me too. I am feeling Vanessa, and I've said it from episode 1. I am team Vanessa. I've always liked her more than Noah. I think it's a more developed character. It's a more relatable person. She's smart. She's going to parlay that viral video to either find herself a man or build her business. That's the only thing I'm worried about her and Mateo, is that Mateo's going to start to like her. And I think she's going to start dating some of these guys that are sliding into the DMs. And I think he's going to get hurt. So I just hope that that's not how it goes down. But
I want to shake. We all know she is my favorite, but I want to shake her when she mentions Daniel, because girl, like you can be with whoever you want to be. Why be with him?
Right. I don't know if she likes Daniel yet. We don't know yet, but Daniel had her on his phone as Vanessa Princessa. So he definitely likes her, but it makes me wonder, did he like her these 4 years? That
would be a great story. That would be a great storyline if they brought that in.
Wait, Zach, Mateo had it on his phone? Princessa?
Mateo had Vanessa Princessa. He has the heart eyes for.
I missed that. Yeah. Oh my God, I missed that.
Did you see the way he was watching her walk away? He was looking at those hips. I saw
that. Those hips don't lie, girl. They do not lie. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm excited to bring Michelle in very soon so we could talk about her character and her thoughts on Vanessa's storyline. But quickly before we do, we have news and gossip with Zach.
Yes, so Natalie, Kelly, and David, they went live this weekend on Instagram, and they kind of gave us a little bit of insight on the show. Natalie was kind of talking about what it's like being a celebrity in real life versus being Noah Hamilton. And she kind of said Noah Hamilton is like way more famous and how she lives a completely more like fabulous lifestyle. And then she also said that during the casting process, Natalie actually thought David was auditioning for the role of Daniel. So she was trying to be like super flirty with David, who plays Mateo, because she thought he was going to be like the main character, her love interest. And she also confirms for the last piece of news that Mateo is going to find love this season. She didn't say who, but she says he will find love. He won't be left out.
I love that.
We'll see.
Yeah, I like that. That's some really good stuff there too. Yeah,
Oh,
you guys.
good tea.
Yeah, very good tea. Hopefully they do some more live stuff soon because I think they can.
They've been
they can bring it in
on social media.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I love it when they can bring the cast in. But speaking of cast, we have our special guest here, Michelle Ventimiglia.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi guys. How are you?
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
You look cute. I love that outfit. Adorable.
Thank you. I
Yes.
haven't left the house in like 6 days.
Either have we.
Yeah, same here.
Actually, this is actually my mom's blouse from the 70s.
It looks
Cute.
great. I love it.
Really cute.
Thank
we
you.
love vintage moment. Love vintage.
Thank you. What's up,
Michelle.
guys? How are you?
Good. How are you holding up during quarantine?
Thank God I'm doing really well. Oh
Good.
God. It says my connection is unstable. Can you see me? Hear me?
We can
still
see
hear
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got you.
Okay. I'm doing really well. I live in New York City with my boyfriend. So and he works on Broadway actually. So when Broadway shut down, we were like, this is getting serious. So we came straight to Long Island just to get somewhere where it's not so populated and then not so difficult to get to the grocery store and like all that jazz. So we've been here for about 6 weeks with my mom, my dad, and actually my little brother who's been working from home. So it's kind of funny. My parents are like, I haven't had a full house in like a decade.
Yeah.
Really cute.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, I moved in with my parents as well. So it's like they said the same thing. I haven't been home in like 10 years. So it's like they're like, what is happening? It's kind of sweet. It's like the positive effect. I love it. Like, it's a positive effect of being at home. Like, have you been able to, like, by being quarantined, obviously, like, in some ways, it's kind of a great time to release a show. Have you gotten a lot of positive feedback from the fans? Because people are, you know, quarantined and able to enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the circumstances are so unfortunate, but in a lot of ways it bodes well for us because people are home to watch something, A, and B, thank God our show is a lovely, family-friendly, sexy show. If we were doing like a really dark, intense drama, I don't know that we would be doing that well at all.
Okay, makes sense.
I think the show is a really sweet escape for us right now.
When I was reading the comments, that's what everyone was saying, that this is such a lighthearted show. We need this right now. So in a way, the show launched at a perfect time. And I know the fans are loving it too.
I know. Thank you so much to the fans and everyone who's sharing and tweeting and talking about the show and telling their friends to watch. And thank you guys for doing this show. I have to shout out to Madonna Lee in Seattle, who's actually my boyfriend's sister. And she's been so excited about the show. And she texted me and was like, did you know there's a podcast? Like, you have to be in it. And I didn't know that I didn't know that she had emailed you guys. And then a couple days later, she's like, so I emailed them. She's like a OG Vanessa. Like, she has Vanessa vibes. Like,
love
she gets
her.
it done.
Love that.
I love talking to Madonna. She was so sweet when I connect with her on Twitter.
Yeah, she's amazing. So supportive. Love you, Madonna. Thank you.
Well, thank you. We're so glad.
I love that. The gay boy in me thought it was Madonna. I was like, what? I was like, wait a second.
I know.
Yeah. We really want to get into Vanessa.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Vanessa. So with your character, what advice would you give her? she proposed to Daniel and she's still fighting for him. She still wants a relationship with him.
Yeah.
If you were Vanessa's BFF, would you agree with what she was doing, or would you try to steer her in a different direction?
You know, when I think about Vanessa, I think she's an amazing representation of what the modern evolving woman is today. I think because we have so much coming at us all day long on our phones and the news, like the world is ending, like, and because she's at a point in her life where I feel like any woman in her 20s or 30s or even 40s, like she's allowed to decide at any moment to change her mind about something. So I think that's what I like about her, is that in a lot of ways she's very old school and very traditional, and she wants to notch those traditional things off her list, like get married and have a beautiful house and have kids. But at the same time, she's like a boss businesswoman who's trying to build a business from the ground up and make a name for herself. And that's, relatively new. So I love that balance that she has. And because she's walking that fine line, I feel like she can come off like really erratic, because one moment she's like in a fit of rage and wrath, and then in another moment it's like, no, who she really is foundationally and like in like deep down, and she's a loving woman who believes in family, who is loyal, who is kind and wants to help people. So I think I love that you guys tapped into that a little bit and can see that she's not just some like crazy lady,
No, and we love the modern version. Oh yeah, and we love the modern version that you touched on. Yes. I think that totally explains Vanessa. And yeah, she wants to have kids and be married someday. But at the same time, like you said, she's a boss and she'll go for what she wants.
Right.
On that point, I just wanted to ask you, Michelle, like in what ways, because Vanessa is like this kind of erratic, runs all over the place, but just even talking to you right now, I can tell you have a very calm, like still energy. So how did you kind of tap into that erratic, like crazy energy? Like, or is that somewhere inside of you? Like, how did you tap into that?
I don't know. I think the wonderful thing about our writers and our showrunner and just the initial like conception of the story, it's based on an Israeli platform actually that's really famous over there. And our pilot pretty much follows that their first episode almost like line by line. So I think at least in Israel, the creator of the show in Israel, Asi Azari, he told me that girls in Israel like dress up as Vanessa for Halloween there. Like she's like the most famous character ever in Israel. So when he told me that, I was like, oh my God, like there's something iconic, and like she has to be a little like off her rocker to be memorable. And she's also just like written that way. It's not that like you kind of had to commit to a woman singing Taylor Swift to her boyfriend in a restaurant and then like throwing soup on him, like you kind of have to like go there to do that.
Like, why didn't Vanessa like flip the entire table? Like I
know.
Say yes. I would have
know.
Too.
I think to honor the original series, they really did follow like moment by moment what they did with their initial episode. And what's awesome about the creator of the Israeli version is that he really let us make our own version of the show, and we've kind of taken the story different ways than the Israeli version is. But yeah, I think it's a testament to the writers as well that like she can start that way. And I mean, I'm just so lucky that I got to play a character in the pilot that had so many different levels. Like she's like
so many
elated to be in this amazing restaurant with her boyfriend in one moment, and then she's like completely devastated and like shocked the next, and then she's trying to plot. Like there's just she's so colorful. And I think as the series goes on, you'll see like all the in-between colors and the little in-between moments that make her even more special. So I just feel really lucky that I get to do it at all. I don't know how I tapped into it. I think I do have a little Vanessa in me. To be honest, like I wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't.
Right.
But I just they just kind of let me like go crazy. I remember when we were shooting the pilot, I was like, is this too much? Because I didn't get to spend a lot of time with the family members, or even like Noah and Lewis and Piper. Like I didn't you know, we were shooting the pilot. I just did my scenes, and I was worried that I was going to be a little too heightened. I was like, is this okay? But they were just like,
yeah, that's so funny that you're like a little bit like Vanessa, because I was going to ask, like, would Michelle, you said you had a boyfriend, would Michelle propose to her boyfriend?
Oh my gosh. What's funny is that I tease my boyfriend about that all the time. I'm like, so I think I'll do it here. And I'll say this. And he's like, please don't propose. Please don't do it. Please don't. Like, I'll do it.
God.
I'll do it.
Oh, how sweet. And he's in Broadway, so he's probably going to do a really nice proposal. He's probably going to sing to you. It's going to be amazing. You should let him do it. Let him do it. Let him take over.
Let him sing Taylor Swift.
Yes, right? Let him sing another Taylor song. Before we go to our questions, there's someone in the live chat. So Billie Jean Girl 24 is asking Michelle, they want to know about, we get a lot of questions about this, Vanessa and Matteo possibly getting together. This past episode was our first time seeing a spark. When you read the script, did you think that maybe like the first script, the pilot, did you think this would go in that direction? Did you see that or not really?
I think when I read the script, first of all, I was like, oh my gosh, finally, like I get to have a proper scene with David Del Rio, who is a comedian, like just a master comedian. He is so incredible. I hope that ABC releases a little gag reel of all the different takes that he does, all the little improvs that he does. Like it was just crazy. Like I would just stand there and be like, are you done with your line? Like, can we move on? So he was incredible. But as far as Vanessa and Matteo, I think it was an awesome opportunity. I was just excited to show a different side of Vanessa. And there's a moment right before she leaves where you can almost catch that, you know, she says two things, like, you're not going to call me Vanessa Princesa anymore. And in that moment, she could have very well been like, help me get your brother back, you know, like get on my side. But then she decides not to, and she decides to just foster this relationship with him just on like the principle of loyalty, you know, like she really does consider these people her family. And you don't get to meet a lot. I don't know if this is a spoiler, but you don't really meet Vanessa's family in the show. So it's very evident that the Garcia family was her family, and she's not quick to let that go. Like Daniel aside, like these are her siblings. This is like her mother figure, her father figure. And what I love about her is that she's loyal to them and willing to help them despite being so heartbroken. It would have been so much easier to sabotage them, you know, how she's like kind of planning to at first. But I think her initial intentions were kind of to infiltrate the family and try to get them on her side. But I think you just catch a little glimpse of like, oh, she's realizing that there's more to this than just sabotage and just wrath. And I think that's a strong representation of a woman, because I talk to the creators a lot about like not wanting to fall into that like cliche niche of a telenovela like crazy woman who's just like storming into places, which has its comedy and it's a stereotype for a reason. Like Latin people are passionate people, but I think there are stronger choices to be made when it comes to that, especially with TV in 2020. And I'm really grateful to the writers for leaning into that.
Amazing. Yeah. Great. Thank you for answering that. Appreciate it.
So is Vanessa like jealous of Noah or what?
I don't think she's a jealous person. I think she's honestly like shocked.
Yeah. I mean, it's so random. Noah's so famous.
I know. I think I think obviously the celebrity thing gets in her head, and it's kind of like a bummer to her more than anything. She's like, you're going to go for a celebrity? Like those people aren't real. Or to her anyway. She doesn't know any celebrities, but I think she's an empowered woman. She believes in herself. She thinks she's a boss bitch. She thinks she has the goods. And I think it's just more surprising and like confusing to her more than anything, like why he would choose someone like that over her. So I think she's kind of like figuring it out and trying to make sense of it all. And I think that's why she's tracking them and trying to see like what's going on here. Like, are you really gonna go down that route after 4 years? Like, I don't know.
kind of aggressive. And Michelle, do you think it has something to do with the fact that like if you break up with someone, you don't kind of can avoid them unless you go on their social media? But if your ex is dating a celebrity, you might be at the grocery store and you're seeing them on the cover, and you probably just can't avoid it, which is probably also really painful, I would think.
Yeah, and I think you guys tapped on something really important in that, like, there is video footage of that proposal, and it did go viral, and she was humiliated. And if Daniel and Noah end up becoming a serious worldwide known couple, then that's always going to follow Vanessa. So I think there's some consequence to that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I feel like with Vanessa, she will always still be there with Daniel because the Garcia family is her family. They've been there for each other for 4 years. So that's why we really like the character a lot, is she's willing to step back, but she's still there for people that she loves. And I think that's what makes her such a true loving character.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
We love her. Too. She has so many layers, and I'm like so here for it. I also wanted to ask you a quick little fun question, just to kind of like a little levity. What would Vanessa do, marry, shag, kill if we had Daniel, Mateo, and Colin?
Oh.
What would she? Gotta keep it fun. You gotta keep it
I think
fun.
she would marry Daniel. That's her ultimate dream.
Sure.
Shag Colin.
Yeah.
Kill Mateo.
Oh my God.
No, not Mateo.
I love him so much.
That's
I
so
know.
You put her in a pickle. You have to sacrifice everything, something.
I put her in a pickle.
I
get it.
Oh my gosh, that's so hard. But Colin is a hottie.
He is.
How amazing was Daniel's speech to him?
That was my favorite part of the episode.
Mine too. I thought that speech was amazing. And when I heard it, I remember hanging out with Victor Asuk, who plays Daniel, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just working on the speech." I'm like, "Let me hear it." And like, we worked on it together a little bit. So when I saw it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, he killed it!"
That's amazing. I love that.
So
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah,
Victor and David are amazing. I used to work for David Del Rio, and I used to work with Victor, so it's just fun to see them on it. Yeah, I used to work for David back in the day. Yeah, so it's a great cast. You guys have a great cast.
Is there any teasers we can get out of you?
Yeah, give us the teasers. Any tea? Nothing?
Oh, you can't.
There's no. I don't know what I can say.
Guys, she doesn't want to lose her job.
I know you must have signed an NDA, a really ironclad NDA.
Here's a better question. In one word, what can we expect for the rest of the season?
Good.
Chaos.
We're ready for it.
I love that. Oh my God.
Yes, we are here for it.
There's a lot that happens. That's why I was like, what word will I choose? But overall, it's pretty chaotic. What I will say is that we all end up like meeting at a head, like all the different parties. Because right now we're all in our own little bubbles. Like Vanessa's in her bubble, Noah and Lewis are in their own little bubble, and the family's in their own little bubble. And I think the next episode you could see the teaser that Noah comes over for family dinner, and from there it all kind of just goes crazy because all the worlds start infiltrating each other, and it gets pretty scary.
I'm so curious what happened if Vanessa and Noah met, or when they meet, because when Colin and Daniel met, they were pretty chill. Like I thought there would be a little bit more confrontation, but they were pretty respectful towards each other. I don't know if the girls would do the same thing, but I think it'll be interesting.
What do you think would happen?
If Vanessa throws hands, I'll die.
Yeah, I think Vanessa would get really angry.
And I don't think that's gonna happen, but I want it to happen.
You think she would get physical?
I don't know about
my inner messiness. Yeah.
I think Vanessa might be like, what you doing with Daniel? What you doing with
I want it to happen. I don't think it will.
Yeah. I don't know. You'll have to see. Natalie.
Michelle's not going to give us anything. You're not going to give us anything.
We actually talked at length about that because it was a big deal storyline wise with the writers about when Vanessa and Noah would actually meet and what that would look like and what they would do. I mean, there's a lot of different ways it could go, right? Because they're two very, very strong, empowered women. And I think all I'll say is that there's a cheap way to do it, like I was talking about earlier, and there's a better, more progressive way to do it.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad they didn't go the cheap way. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think with
that.
those two characters, what we learned this episode is Vanessa is very mature, where she's still willing to help Mateo out, even though her and Daniel are on different terms right now. And then with Noah being able to open up to Daniel and not put herself as a celebrity status when the water burst, I think when Vanessa and Noah come to terms, I think it's actually going to be a great encounter.
I think so.
I have a
hope so, right?
Yeah,
go ahead, Haley.
What was it like working with an all Latinx cast?
It was a riot. It was so much fun. It was everything you imagine it was. We were shooting in Puerto Rico, of all places. So we were shooting a Latin show with a Latin cast, a Latin story with a Latin crew. We were dancing all the time. I mean, you guys probably see all the socials that we're putting up and behind the scenes. It was just tremendous fun. It was the most fun I ever had on any job I've ever had. And I worked on not like crazy things, but like some pretty fun things. And I just couldn't have dreamed up this cast. I couldn't have dreamed up this opportunity. We all just feel so lucky, and we're just praying that it's well received and that people are getting a little escape from it, and that hopefully we get a season 2.
Yeah, I hope so too. Well, you guys are getting an incredible fan base, so I'm ready for it. I want to cover season 2 already. I'm excited.
You guys will get a season
love
2. I'm hoping for it. What do you think Vanessa would be like in season 2? It might be a little early to say, but
who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about her. Like, she could have like a whole transformation if she wanted it. She could afford that, you know?
Yeah.
She could chop all her hair off.
Who knows?
Which would be a big deal for me, because I've had really, really long hair my whole life, and I wanted to chop my hair off for this role, and they were like, no.
Darn it.
Who knows?
Who knows? Well, we're looking forward to it. We are excited. But before we leave, Michelle, where can the fans find you out on social media?
I'm on Instagram, Michelle20Milla, and on Twitter, same handle, Michelle20Milla.
All right, fans, make sure to follow her. And then
Thank
Amir.
you so much, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Real quick before you go, Michelle, we have a really great fan question. So I hope that she isn't just portrayed as a crazy ex-girlfriend. We want to see those onion layers. So thank you for showing us those layers. That's from Australia. It's Helen Wainwright, one of our biggest fans. So she loves you. Just wanted to say that before you head out.
Thank you. I love you guys. Thank you for watching.
Well, thanks for coming on, Michelle.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh,
she's
so
so
sweet.
wonderful.
I love
her.
I want to get her on again, like for the season finale or something, because I'm sure we're going to see more with her character. Aw, so good.
Yes,
but
love her.
We do have to get going, you guys.
Yes.
But quickly before we go, Amir, where can they find you on social media?
Oh, sure. You can find me at AmirYas_. Don't forget the underscore. It's Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And thanks again, Michelle. You're such a sweetheart, and I wish you all the best.
Yes, thank you. What about you, Haley?
Guys, you can find me everywhere at HaleyMatthews__.
Great. And Zach?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Zach Weinberg, TikTok at Zachary Weinberg, and Twitter at It's Zachary Fish, where I tweet about the episodes while they're airing.
All right, sure, check that out. And then you can find me on Instagram at Chelsea Overrocker and on Twitter at Chelsea Overrocker. Thank you all so much for joining us, and stay tuned because we do have some special guests coming up and we are excited.
Yes.
All right.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.